Hi, my name is Blanca Lopez and this is the final work for the course El Docente como Investigador de sus propias prácticas. Talking about my own perceptions and concerns, I focus my attention on the fourth from B from EP 92 in Gorina because they are students that approach English only as part of their public primary instruction, and because it was difficult for me to make them understand how important is being able to know this language for their future. I also observed that in the first years of English instructions in many courses in public primary school, students most of the time are ashamed to speak aloud individually. Why? So I noticed that they only speak freely when the activity is drilled by the whole class, and sometimes they speak individually if I model the answer first. I think that laughter and embarrassment are the key in the matter. They are afraid of making mistakes, even I explain them specifically about the benefits of making them. So, to my research, I designed the following questions. My greatest concern is about improving the speaking skill. So why the majority of my students are ashamed to produce in English? What other feelings are in play while they speak in the L2? Do they have enough opportunities to practice the speaking skill? Have my plans got a balanced amount of speaking activities? In order to start with my exploratory stage, I reflect on my practices and how the students behave when they are asked to participate orally but individually, and I decided to use questionnaires and observations to do so. So I designed 2 questionnaires for my students with the layout of pictures and few words. That is the way that they are accustomed to do their task, and a questionnaire for the teacher of the course, because I wanted to have the opinion of some colleagues and perceptions about participations in the class in other subjects. And these are the results of the questionnaires. Over 13 students, the numbers show the amount of positive answers. Most of them answered that they were happy, but also they answered that they were embarrassed and sad. But what took my attention was one of my students that wrote confundido. He or she was confused, and this was not a feeling that were on the questionnaire. So in the taking action stage, I will ask all of the class about this feeling. The other questionnaires, it was about specific questions, and they have to answer. If they know what the question is, they have to answer aloud the response. So many of them, almost everyone, could respond about what is your name, what is your favorite color, how old are you, I mean personal information. Then when the questions were more difficult about some structures and different linguistic exponents, the amount of positive answer decreased. Other response that took my attention was the students that wrote scared, because then when I asked them to explain why they feel this way, they wrote, I feel this way because I don't have the courage to say it and I can't do it. These answers made me feel about implementing activities to understand the benefits of growth versus fixed mindsets. In the following stage, that is taking action, I started the following class by putting on display posters to talk about mindsets in order to create a confident environment of learning. We discussed about mistakes, the importance of never give up, and the trainings of the brains. It was a special moment when we talk about the not yet concept. It was wonderful to see hope in those kids that usually dismisses their abilities and capacities. I will be able to say more in the course of the term, but I think the seed has been put in the ground. The other action I put into practice, taking into account the piece of advice of one colleague, was procedural scaffolding by using visual support. So we wrote the questions, the same that were in the questionnaires, and an answer frame in order for them to respond. So once they got confidence with the answers, we rehearsed and drilling group to finally ask individually. The results was acceptable. I expected more participation, but I must say that some students that I have identified as the ones that usually participate were the ones that were eager to speak. So I will continue with these practices and this strategy in my following classes.